Hello, hello. This is Stephanie Matthews, and I am here with you for Facebook Live. And today we're talking about dreaming a bigger vision. Why? So the universe and everyone and all that is in it can conspire with you. So often, this has been something that I've struggled with. Hello, Krista! This is something that I've struggled with, and I know that many of the women in the Wild, Sexy, Magical, hey Sam, many of the women that I work with struggle with is staying really small in their vision, right? And I know, right? I've got the sun behind me. I'm wearing my orange today. So this is heartbreaking when we stay small in our vision. I've talked to coaches, I've talked to women who are starting up their business, I've talked to healers, I've spoken with massage therapists and Reiki people, I've spoken with therapists, and so often when I ask them to share their vision, they're like, I'd like to start a virtual business, I'd like a few clients, I'd like it to, be successful. And can you, it's like there's not this excitement. And while everything and everyone around you in the universe and God are like, okay, let's do that. Let's get you some clients. You're going to get some clients and you're going to go, okay, I'm getting some clients. I'm working with some people. This is what I asked for. Great. Okay, and then you're going to start realizing very quickly that you're going to constantly be searching. And if you're already constantly searching and you don't even have a business, this is where I work with women who aren't even at a business stage yet. They're just like, I'm lost, I don't know where I'm going. And this is because there is no big vision. You don't have to run a business to create a bigger vision for your life. So to start with, I'm going to share a little bit of how I've seen this work in my own life. When I stay small and say something like, I'm going to create a new program and I want 10 women to sign up for it. Okay. I get there and I go, okay, I did it. And then that's it, right? There's nothing else pushing me beyond that. But when I think of a goal that takes not just a few weeks to accomplish, but a year, 3 years, 5 years, this is what sets my heart on fire. And this is what exactly the opposite of every single business coach and mentor out there proclaims is you can have your dream life now. It's the instant gratification. They're always sharing with us exactly what we want to hear. You can have your life fixed in this second, and you don't have to work for it, and you can get it now. This is our culture. And let me tell you, my friends, how does it make you feel? We have a higher depression rate, a higher anxiety rate. We have a higher rate of people not knowing their purpose, not knowing who they are in this world. And that is a sad thing. The instant gratification of the now culture has created this sucking vortex of our souls. They pull our passion away from us because we want it now. And when we work with our passion and we work as a passion and soul-based human being, not as a business, not as you're, creating a company, this is just us living. So often I speak with entrepreneurs and women who want to make money, and they're only focused on how they're going to do it. Well, what am I going to sell? What is my service going to be? What if you thought bigger? Who are you going to be? What are you going to be because of this? Who are you going to evolve into? And if you've ever heard me share my story, you know that I started my business back up just to start massage therapy for women back up. But I wanted to incorporate more. Because when I started massage therapy, I went and saw the same clients week after week. And I'd sit down and I'd say, what's going on this week? And they go, oh, my neck. I go the same spot as last week. Yeah, it's there. You know, it lasted a couple days when you worked on it. Okay. And I'd work on it. They'd feel great. 4 or 5 days later, I'd go back and, oh yeah, my neck. Okay, and I did this for a year and a half, and I went, oh my gosh, this is insanity. How do people do this? And that's great. That's how they make consistent money, is by having the same people with the same problem come to them over and over and over and over again. I couldn't handle this. I said, there's got to be more. There has to be a way to actually heal. And I've been on that quest ever since 8 years ago when I started massage therapy. That has been my quest. How do I help people heal? And this, I realized, is a huge component to this piece, this healing piece. So often when we think of visioning, we think so small so that we don't fail. Because failure is scary, right? We're not supposed to fail. We're supposed to be perfect. We're always supposed to succeed. And if we're not succeeding, everybody's going to judge us and we're going to go into the corner and cry. No, that's what, like, when I heard finally, years into my coaching practice, that Einstein, failed something like 9,999 times, and on the 10,000th time, he finally got the light bulb. And he didn't say, look at all my failures. He said, look at how not to make a light bulb. But I figured out how to, because I learned about how not to do it. And when we look at life and our bigger visions, this helps us realize, what is it that we don't want to be doing? It's not that we're failing. It's not that things aren't working out or that we're not getting help from God or the universe. It's that we're learning what we don't want. We're learning maybe who we don't want to be friends with or work with. When we have a greater vision, we need to be able to not succeed with that vision in a month or 7 weeks, but we need to create a vision that is at least 3 years big. I would suggest 5 to 10 years big. In our culture, we don't even think about 10 years from now, right? How often are you like, 10 years? Let's see. Yeah, I know. And this was something that blew my mind when I went, wow, I know exactly where I want to be in 10 years. Now I just have to work backwards from that moment. And that is the best and easiest way to create an action plan, which is what we're going to be doing in our little group. The New Year, New You group this coming week is creating that massive, big vision and working backwards. And if this is a struggle for you, I want to just throw out that I could even do just a one-time session of discovering your purpose so that we could really get clear on what that purpose is for you, and we could create that whole vision in 5 to 10 years from now and work backwards from that. Let me know if this is something that would interest you. So I love all the people joining in. Hello. So as we really start creating, it's amazing what can happen. As I was saying, when I started Magical Mothering, it was simply a way to extend my massage services so that I wasn't getting like the same things happening over and over again. And for me, that was a big aspect. And as it started to grow and unravel, it became bigger than I even could have visioned at that time. When I first started it, I had no idea that I would have a Facebook group of 1,200 women, and I would be mentoring, and I would be creating this magical life, and I would step into being who I always knew I was, but didn't know was possible. So oftentimes we have this vision, right? And a big part of my vision that I'm now working actively towards, which is very exciting, is finding a place to create a retreat center or a retreat space. And looking to travel. And there's these things that were always part of my husband and I's vision. We were talking about how when we sat in our house when we lived there 8 years ago, and we were sitting on the porch swing dreaming of traveling full time. And now that we're selling this house, that looks like it could be more of a possibility. But it also is a possibility of creating space. And so as you dream, don't get discouraged by the amount of time it takes. Because things that you've invested time, energy, money into, the universe kind of holds them up a little bit higher and says, that must be really valuable to them. I'm going to keep a watch, and I'm going to just continue to put more and more energy into that and conspire with her or with him, because this looks really juicy. I'm excited for them. And so what is it that would create something so enlivening for your soul? I know that a lot of the women in my Facebook group have visions of homesteading or creating some sort of space, physical space. And then there's others that want to create space or share their gifts with others, either through speaking or retreats or something like this. And so what is it? Big, 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 big. And I have to share that at the end of last year, just a couple weeks ago, at the end of 2017, I made a proclamation on Facebook Live that I wanted to meet every woman who was active in the Facebook group that I run. That is something that would just, that would make my heart sing. And so when I said that, all of a sudden I felt this momentum. Have you ever had a thought or had a feeling, and then you say it out loud and you go, oh gosh, this is gonna have to happen. And so it pushed me and it propelled me. And as I spoke it, I knew that it was a thought and it went into words. And as I proclaimed that was a big vision. Having the desire to meet over 1,000 women in the course of my lifetime, to connect with them, to create with them, to really indulge in the juiciness of having this tribe, really lit something within me. And that is when I went, this is what turns on the energy all around me. Not just my own, but it actually invites for the universe to conspire with us. This is a goal that needs so much synchronicity, that needs so much detail, that needs so much. They have to be there at the right time, at the right place, and everybody has to join in. And this is something worth visioning. And so when you click on it, where it's so big, it's so bold, it's so magical, that is worth striving for. And we've got to stop thinking that we're not worth it. Because this is what is keeping us small, keeping us little, keeping us confused, keeping us distracted, and keeping us not knowing where we want to go. Where we're flipping through Facebook and looking at everybody else's big visions and going, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Oh, look at that. And it's not true. You don't wish you had their life. That life would drive you bananas if you had the lives of the people in your Facebook feeds. Oh my gosh, you'd be like, oh, this fits too tight, or this is not right, right? That wouldn't be you. We've got to stop looking at everybody else's Facebook posts and thinking that their lives are the lives that we want to put on, because they don't fit. We want to create a life that is bigger and better and more than we could ever think of on our own. We need a little help, right? So not only is the universe going to conspire with us, but we actually need some of that universal energy outside of ourselves to really pull us into something bigger. So what are you willing to do day and night for free? What just lights you up? This was something that really clicked with me when I went, wow, I do this for free and I could do it all the time. That is what you should be charging for. Or that is usually your soul's purpose. Something that you can do all the time, day and night, and it just pours out of you. Like when I heard of the Oprah story. Oprah, there was no TV talk show hosts. Oprah, as her gift, just decided that that was who and what she was. She enjoyed connecting with people. Betty Crocker was in her 50s, and she loved baking so much that she just was like, screw it, I'm just going to make a cookbook. And now everybody knows who Betty Crocker is. So there's this thing where sometimes we think that we have to know who we are, and what we're going to do, when really it's who we are as a being that really catapults us. Who we are as a unique being is what will create our purpose. It's not some magical mystery, and yes, getting certifications can help your confidence, but you don't need to get certified in your life purpose. You were born with it, I promise. Like, that's not gonna help you. It might help convince others to pay you, but it's not gonna help you bring your service any better, because it is you. So where is it that in your life you're staying small? Where is it in your vision that it's not quite catapulting you to a place that you can really soar? Are you just trying to get money to make ends meet? Or are you just trying to create a business because that's what everybody else is doing? Are you just trying to be a great mom and homeschool and do it all perfect because that's what you think everybody else is doing when they post their perfect day pictures? Like, what is it for you? And what do you need to shift? Like, there's some sort of healing that needs to happen because the fear and the sabotage is ruining every time you go to make a bigger step. So when my husband and I decided that we were going to travel full-time the first time, this was when I was pregnant with Skyanne, and so it was about 6 years ago. We bought a trailer, and we were so excited. We bought a trailer, and we realized that we had to gut the whole thing. Well, we gutted the whole thing, got into the walls, and they were ruined. And so my husband literally took the entire trailer off of the trailer rack, and we just had an empty stand. And he goes, I could just build it from scratch. I go, oh my gosh, we only paid like $1,000 for I think we only paid like $300 for it. I was like, that is ridiculous. We could spend more on a already built trailer that would actually stand the road than doing this. So we sold that one. And then we were like, okay, let's get another trailer. Let's try this again. We found another travel trailer, and it was perfect for us. It was great. Zion was 15 months at the time, and I was pregnant with Skyanne. We sold everything that we had and just moved only what we kept into the travel trailer. And we were like, we're going to hit the road. We can't wait. And then we kind of started thinking, well, how are we going to afford to hit the road? Like, we both didn't really have mobile jobs. I didn't have an online community. I didn't do virtual sessions. It wasn't quite possible 6 years ago. So we went, well, let's just buy vacant land. So we bought vacant land and spent 5 glorious months out in the desert. I had my daughter unassisted in the trailer. My family was there, and 3 days after she was born, we hit the road and went to our vacant property, and it was bliss for 5 months. But we still had a difficult time figuring out what to do to stay there, and my husband wanted to change jobs, and so we went back into mainstream world. But we never lost the vision. We never lost the vision that there was something bigger than just living in a house for us. And I know this is the case for so many of the women that I work with. Living in a house, living a normal life is not quite what makes your heart sing. Like there's more to it. There's this adventure. There's this wild that is calling to you. And yet, how do you get there? How do you create this life around your vision so that you don't get sucked into when it's not working and the failures, but you do get sucked into the possibility and seeing how things are conspiring for you and seeing when things work and seeing the synchronicities? There's a fine line between creating a vision and stepping into it and creating a vision and watching from the outside. So many people I know create visions and then watch them from the outside and see other people flying ahead and going with their dreams and allowing themselves to get swept up in the drama of life. When really, when we create these visions, we need to step into them fully and give them the time that they need to percolate, to conspire. Like, you can't create a masterpiece with instant gratification. There's something about this culture nowadays that we want everything in a 6-week course. And don't get me wrong, I love my 6-week courses. I do. I love helping women jumpstart in 3 months. But we've got to realize that these visions that we desire are not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? And I will not be another coach or mentor or healer out there that says that that's the way to go, because it is not. We need to allow ourselves the beauty of seeing that visions unravel, that our lives will unravel at a miraculous and marvelous pace if we stop demanding now. Because guess what? We've demanded now for a long time and nothing is changing. So why not create a bigger vision? Like, think back to when you first wanted to do something that popped into your head while I was talking. Think back to that first moment. It was probably a couple years ago, the first time you thought about this. And it's already been a couple years. That time has already been wasted. Imagine if you had created a vision fully and stepped into it. You would already be that much closer. And instead of dreaming and stepping back and going, that looks nice. Yeah, they must be really worthy of that vision. And that's what needs the healing. Thinking that we're hopeless. Thinking that we're not worthy. Thinking that we have to do something outside of ourselves in order to become who and what we're supposed to be. But really, it's a matter of becoming who we truly are and becoming our authentic selves so that we can give in a way that is completely in alignment with who and what we are. More like 30 years. No, Krista, no. 3 years. Let's create that vision. 3 years. I truly see it. And that's the other thing. Just like Krista mentioned, she was like, yeah, she can see her vision, but it looks like it's about 30 years away. But with the right tools, with the right support, with the bigness of the vision, I think that's when the time warp almost speeds it up. When we do these small incremental goals, I'm going to build a website, I'm going to, start doing this, and we only have these little goals incrementally, instead of going, in 5 years, this is where I'm going to be, and then working backwards from that 5-year goal. That is truly the key. And when I was at a 3-day event back in September, the speaker at the event, she said, what is your vision? What is your vision? And I went, my vision, I'm going to, I'm going to really make my business work. I'm going to create a new program, and I'm going to do a summit, and I'm going to really put it out there. And as I was writing this in my head, I'm going, yeah, you've done that. You've done that. You've done that. How are you going to do that differently? Like, you've already been doing this. How many times have we made a website or made a program or put something out there or created something and we go, no, it just wasn't the right wording. Oh, I was stuck on this for like a year and a half. It's my copy. I must not be saying the right words. No, I wasn't having a big enough vision to pull me into where I wanted to go. I wasn't allowing myself to dream big enough to have the words for that 5-year vision. If I allowed myself the gift of truly healing and being worthy of what I desired, there'd be no problem with speaking it, which is what I realize now. I can speak my vision very clearly. I can speak who and what I do. I can speak to my audience. I know who I am and who I'm offering it to. And yet I was very confused about what and why, because I didn't think I was worthy of it. And that was a healing process that I had to go through, and that I'm now pulling the women that I work with through, because I can only help and heal and serve from a place that I've been. And so when I allow myself and others to create bigger visions, when I hear what their vision is, and I hear, that's fine, but there's no excitement in that vision. There's no, like, I can't feel that yummy desire, right? And that yummy desire is really what creates within us. When we're just visioning something that we're gonna do, like, I'm gonna go to school to get a job, because that's what I've been told to do. There is no, it almost rips your heart open. And yet, when we go to school to get the knowledge that we need so that we're certified or we're licensed or whatever it is, and we see this massive vision of who we're going to serve, how we're going to do it, who is in the swing of it, and the complexity of everything that needs to happen. Now that's a sexy dream. That's a sexy, juicy vision that can get latched into. So I have my stuff on my paper right now so that the wind didn't blow it away, but I wrote something on the back that I thought was important. So, and it was distractions. How often are we distracted? This goes a little bit with looking at other people's visions and dreams as our own, because this is not how we are meant to be. We cannot live other people's visions or dreams. We cannot look at somebody else's Facebook feed and say, I wish I had that life. They have such a great life. It's so perfect. Because guess what? They're human. And guess what? They are probably not living as big of a life as they even desire. Most of us are not dreaming big enough. And so it is time to stop getting distracted with everybody else's visions and start to get obsessively distracted with your own vision, to the point that you know exactly what, who, where, why, when, and you let the universe conspire on how it's all going to happen. That is the magic. It is time to be bigger, think bigger, dream bigger, and step into it fully, and stop looking from the sidelines and waiting for something to drop into your lap, because guess what? It's never going to drop into your lap. You need to get out there, and you need to actively step into the vision you want to create to make it happen and envelop you. Because when we get enveloped in a distractedly obsessive way with what is possible, all of a sudden we begin to see at every corner around us opportunities and signposts. Do you want this? No. Do you want this? Oh, yes. Yes. So it's the same thing what my husband and I are doing right now. We've got our home on the market, and literally we are open to all possibilities. We are open to seeing, we want to stay in the United States, and so we're looking at all these different places to live, or, find land or find property. And it's one of those things where we're on the precipice. And it's like, does this sound right? What about this? Yes, that sounds right. And that's how we need to start living our visions, we need to feel it within our bodies and not just go, these are the action steps I told myself I was going to take. Because that is where we end up stuck. We end up in a dream life that ends up being a prison instead of what we thought. I know there's a lot of people, a lot of women that I have in my Facebook realm that make great money and serve a lot of people. And when they sit with themselves, they go, this brings me no joy anymore, and they get burnt out. This happens not just with coaches and mentors, but it happens with nurses and therapists and I would say probably every other profession, corporate. It's a matter of letting yourself be that compass, letting your heart and your body and your gut really be the compass for you so that you're being guided in a way that is completely authentic and you're not being sideswiped by all the advertising and all the Facebook feeds and everything out there that is so instant. Follow me because I'll get you there now. It's not true. It's not true. You'll get there when everything is perfectly lined up for you to get there, but only if you dream big enough to get there. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's inspiring. And if you have questions, if you have comments, please put them in the post. If you would like a Discover Your Purpose session with me and we can go through and really create and allow ourselves to dream bigger, let's do that. If you're living a half life of literally just waking up in the morning, doing what you have to do, being unfulfilled just to pay the bills, it's time to stop that. It's time to create more space in your life to dream and live the wild, sexy, magical life that we were put on this earth to live. Yes? Amen. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. I love you all. Wonderful spending time with you.